In the world, the assembled devotees offer their obeisances to the deities in the morning as the Govindam prayers loudly play. George Harrison recorded it, and Yamuna Dasi sings the mantras. Disturbed by this custom, Jayasri Chinanda quoted Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, as well as Srila Prabhupada, that if a brahmachari hears and is attracted to a woman singing, it is a subtle fall down. In light of this, he wrote, many of the brahmacharis approached the temple president to see if it would be possible that when the deities are greeted in the morning, that instead of listening to Guru Das Maharaj's former wife singing the Brahma Sangita prayers, we could listen to your divine grace rather than hear a woman sing. He did not want to change the tape because it had been a standard thing in ISKCON since 1970. So requested by many devotees, I'm inquiring from your divine grace if we could play a tape recording of you singing, and instead of a woman, when the deities of Rukmini Dwarkadish are greeted in the morning. I'm sure that all the devotees would be enlivened to hear you instead of electric guitars, the London Symphonic Orchestra, etc., etc. Prabhupada was not pleased. He said that constantly changing things is our Western disease. His reply was short and direct. No, you have made some discovery. All along you have been hearing the recording of Yamuna Dasi, and now you want to change. It is not ordinary singing, it is concert. Many people are singing, so it is not bad. Just like Sankirtan, many voices are there, man and woman. So it is the same thing, Sankirtan. I approve of it. Here in the Krishna Balaram temple, we are hearing the same recording every morning. So if it is good here, why not there? Every day since Prabhupada has been in Vrindavan, Bhagavaji has been making chapatis for him. Prabhupada normally doesn't see anyone while he eats, but he makes an exception for Bhagavaji, who brings the latest chapatis, who brings the last chapatis in himself. So then sits and chats with Prabhupada 5 or 10 minutes before returning to his home. Today, Bhagaji came with a donation of 53,000 rupees in cash, given on behalf of his mother for the purchase of land for the Gurukula. A stone bearing his name as the donor will be placed on the land after its registration. It is a widespread tradition in India to give donations to religious institutions in the name of one's deceased relatives. Thus, they get both material and spiritual benefit in their new birth. Prabhupada is very happy that Bhagaji has come forward to help with the management of the temple, and he looks to him as an experienced local man to guide and train his Western disciples in the intricacies of Indian management. Prabhupada observed his normal program while he spent most of the day preparing for 3 months' travel. He will not be returning until the Gauda Purnima festival in March. We stored everything not required in his almirah and cupboards while packing everything else to be ready for our early morning departure. We left his desk paraphernalia, toiletries and dictaphone. They go in at the last minute. So any questions regarding this? It's clear, no? Nice answer that Paul gave. Shall we speak in English or Deutsch? We have a translator? We have a translator? No. No. So anyway, so Prabhupada was making it very clear that this was not a woman singing alone, attracting the attention of the brahmacharis or confusing the brahmacharis. But actually Prabhupada stressed here that it was concert. He said it's just like kirtan, sankirtan. Everybody's singing together, so many different kinds of devotees. And it's a concert. And then also here was Bhagaji. Yeah, I remember he was almost of the same age as Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada treated him very friendly. It's mentioned that he was very expert in managing things in India. Prabhupada often said that his disciples were not very experienced and they got cheated so many times because they didn't know how to manage or deal with people according to the Indian customs, the Indian tradition. So anyway, and in the end it mentioned that Srila Prabhupada was preparing to travel, so most of the time Prabhupada was traveling. Of course, sometimes he stayed a little longer. When there was important, there was need. I remember when Srila Prabhupada came to Germany many years back. He actually came the first time to Europe. He came to Germany, to Hamburg. And then after that, he went to London. He cut his visit short in Germany, and then he went to London. And he stayed a long time in London. Because there was so much going on. They had to get a temple, and George Harrison helped them to get the temple, the burial place, in the center of town. And then there was also, as we know, there's a huge Indian community, so they were also very favorable. They were attending Prabhupada's programs. And Prabhupada would also go to their homes sometimes, did programs there with them. And actually Prabhupada considered London a very important place. Of course, it had lost importance during the time after when. No, we know Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had also planned to go to London. Because London at that time was actually the main city in the world. It was a center of a huge British Empire. Everyone, they had their colonies and their places. And from that time also English became the international language. But in due course London was not that important anymore. So when Prabhupada came to the West, he went to America, because America was the most important country. And he went to, as we know, he went to New York. Started single-handedly, this movement. And he registered ISKCON in the International Site of Krishna Consciousness 50 years ago, in 66. Anyway, any questions regarding this?
Prabhupada brought a very a whole tradition, and a very traditional movement actually, the cultural movement.
Yeah, cultural.
So, and at the same time he brought it to a foreign place. So how much do we have to be traditional, and how much can we use the modern culture? Like now we see also in this example, Prabhupada used concert, this electric guitar. He said it's okay, we can use it. It's completely integrated in our traditional temple program. So where do we see, where's the border in doing and not doing? being
Well,
concerned.
it actually requires good intelligence. Like how we used to say intelligence, not symptomatic for intelligence, good discrimination. You know how to act according to time, place and circumstance. When Srila Prabhupada used to apparently change things, the potency was not lost. He was empowered, to adjust things according to time, place and circumstance. Whereas sometimes when he starts speculating or trying to adjust things, the same potency is not that present, and you can see it, you can feel it, you can see by the result. So that's why we have to be very careful. Srila Prabhupada was expert in presenting, like he used to say, old wine in new bottles. Yeah. What do you think of that answer?
Yeah. But I feel sometimes either I do it in a traditional way, it has no potency, or I do it in a speculative way, it has no potency. Either way, no potency. So how can I judge the potency? How can I judge?
Judge the potency?
Yeah, because you say the potency is not lost, so this is a factor of being authorized, and it's good if the potency is not lost. So how can we measure if our endeavors, if there's a potency there? How would you?
In our case, Prabhupada was on a different platform. He wasn't, like sometimes he would say he was a Shakti Avisha. When we take decisions, then Prabhupada left us with the governing body commissioners, the GBC. So Prabhupada especially emphasized that there should be a group, shouldn't be one single person. So we, not only the GBC, but we should also consult with the devotees, especially senior devotees or devotees with more experience than we have, more realization, more experience. Prabhupada said that GBC, for example, 2 or 3 or more GBCs might be, I say, wrong, but a body of more than 30, well at that time there were 30, less, when mature devotees come to a conclusion, then it should be taken seriously. Besides that, that's the direct instruction of Srila Prabhupada, that we don't manage single-handedly, we should work cooperatively, and especially we should take into consideration the opinions or the guidance of senior devotees. Is that good? Is that okay? What do you think, really?
No, of course, this is how we evaluate the potency in the feedback of the senior devotees.
Everything Prabhupada gave us a system, check and balance system. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. This is our system. It's not enough, just like it says, it's not enough to just study the Shastra. We have to have the guidance, of the Mahajanas, like Yamaraj explained that to his Yamadutas. That guidance of the Mahajanas is very important. And he mentions 12 Mahajanas as the maximum, I say, the highest authorities within the universe. So it says that this Dharmasa Tatam Vidiha Guhaya. This means, it says that the deeper meaning of Dharma can only be understood by the Mahajanas. And that's why it says that one should accept what is offered by the Mahajanas. Yeah? So it stresses that we should not just depend on Shastra. Shastra is the basis. But the Mahajans are those who actually have a deep understanding of what the meaning, what the Dharma is, the deeper meaning of Dharma. So we are fortunate to have the guidance of so many senior devotees. Still there's so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada around also. Of course they're leaving gradually, one after the other, they go on. And that's why we should take advantage. Why they're here, learn from them, hear from them, and be trained by them. And then we carry on under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and the shelter of all these good instructions that we receive. So you have to take the responsibility. You are supposed to take up the responsibility in the future. Better get ready, get prepared. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Which verse is it?
4.
4. Okay. Oh, Deutsch or English?
English.
Okay. Everyone speaks English? Yeah? Okay. And so we reading from the third canto, conversation between Manu and Kardama, and this chapter 21 in text 4. Tasyam sa vai mahayogi dayam yoga lakshanai sarja katidha viryam tam me shushusave vada tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga dakshanai saja katida viryam tanme shushusave vada tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga lakshanai saja katida viryam tanme shushusave vada
Tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga lakshanai sajagatiya viryam tame shushrushave vada. Tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga lakshanai sasajagatida viryam tame shushrushave vada. Tasyam savai mahayogi
yuktayam yoga
lakshanai
sajakatida viryam tamme shushrushave vada.
Tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga vakshana
yuktayam yoga lakshanai
Ladies?
Tasyam savai mahayogi.
Tasyam savai mahayogi.
Yuktayam yoga lakshanai.
Yuktayam yoga lakshanai.
Sasrakatityayam.
Sasrakatityayam.
Shushrushrotvara.
Ame shushrushavevadam.
Tasyam savai mahayogi.
Tasyam savai mahayogi.
Yuktayam yoga lakshana.
Yuktayam yoga lakshanai.
Sasrakatityayam.
Sasrakatityayam.
Tamme shushrushravevadam.
Dhamme shushrushavevadam.
Tasyam.
Tasyam.
In her.
In her.
Sa.
Sa.
Kadama Muni.
Karamuni.
Vai.
Vai.
In fact.
In fact.
Mahayogi.
Mahayogi.
Great mystic yogi.
Great mystic yogi.
Yuktayam.
Yuktayam.
Endowed.
Endowed.
Yoga Lakshanai.
Yoga lakshanai.
With the eightfold symptoms of yoga.
The sinful symptoms of yoga.
With the eightfold systems of yoga, with the eightfold systems of yogic perfections.
With the eightfold systems of yogic
Rasaja,
Prasaja.
propagated.
Propagated.
Tattira,
Tattira.
how many times?
How many times?
Vidyam,
Vidyam.
offspring.
Offspring.
Tat,
Tat.
declaration.
Declaration.
Me,
Me.
to me.
To me.
Shushu, sabe,
Shushrusave.
who am eager to hear.
We are eager to hear.
Vada,
Vada.
tell.
Tell.
Translation of the verse. How many offspring did that great yogi beget through the princesses? How many offspring did the great yogi beget through the princess, who was endowed with eightfold perfection in the yoga principles? Oh, pray, tell me this, for I am eager to hear it. Purport. Yavidura inquired about Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, and about their children. It is described here that Draupadi was very much advanced in the performance of eightfold yoga. The 8 divisions of yoga performance are described as 1. Control of the senses. 2. Strict following of the rules and regulations. 3. Practice of the different sitting postures. 4. Control of the breath. 5. Withdrawing the senses from sense objects. 6. Concentration of the mind. 7. Meditation. And 8. Self-realization. After self-realization, there are 8 further perfectional stages, which are called yoga cities. The husband and wife, Kadama and Devahuti, were advanced in yoga practice. The husband was a Mahayogi, great mystic, and the wife was a Yoga Lakshana, or one advanced in yoga. They united and produced children. Formerly, after making their lives perfect, great sages and saintly persons used to beget children. Otherwise, they strictly observed the rules and regulations of celibacy. Brahmacharya, following the rules and regulations of celibacy, is required for perfection and self-realization and mystic power. There is no recommendation in the Vedic scriptures that one can go on enjoying material sense gratification at one's whims, as one likes, and at the same time become a great meditator by paying a rascal some money. Tasyam savai mahayogi yuktayam yoga lakshanai sasarja katira viryam tanne shushu savevada. How many offspring did that great yogi begat through the princess, who was endowed with eightfold perfection and the yoga principles. Oh, pray, tell me this, for I am eager to hear it. So here we hear about Kadama Muni and Devahuti. And the story goes, Kadama, as is mentioned here, was a great yogi. And he was famous for his yoga practice. And it says here, he was a Maha-yogi, great mystic. And Devahuti was a princess, and she heard of the glories of Kadama Muni. She never seen him, but she developed a desire to have him as a husband. And she expressed this desire to her father. So they went. And the father, king, he offered his daughter in charity to the yoga. And there's one part in the fourth, no, actually here, third canto. Now we just hearing the beginning of the story of Kadama Muni Devahuti. And one purport Srila Prabhupada explains that this was a system. That the parents actually they arranged for the marriage, and it was not that the couples, young boy, young girl, will get together and experience all kind of things, and then decide whether they could go on living together. But actually, it was a different system. That, like I mentioned, she had never seen her husband. She had just heard about his excellent qualities, and she wanted him as a husband. There are different kinds of marriages in Vedic culture. For the Kshatriyas, it was even standard that the prince would, kidnap the princess. Krishna did the same thing. As Kshatriya, he also exercised the same custom. Anyway, so Devahuti was a first class girl, being trained properly, and her husband was a great yogi. Srila Prabhupada mentions here the real beginning, or the real meaning of the Eightfold Yoga system. He says that the first principle is control the senses. Yoga is not meant for people who are very sensual. Actually, yoga, as we learn from the Shastra, is a way how to connect with God, how to connect with Krishna, with Yogeshwar, within the heart. It was not a program to perfect one's material life. Even though yoga actually, it's mentioned here that there's further 8 perfections in yoga, which refer to the yoga siddhis. So while one is advancing in yoga, there's so many, sub-products, benefits, byproducts offered to the yogi. Just to some degree we experience the same thing as devotees. We get so many, as we surrender to Krishna, we practice Krishna consciousness, we also get so many benefits. It says that we should be, devotees should be very careful not to fall in the traps of these attractions, like becoming famous and becoming, that kind of worship, and getting so many facilities, from outsiders, or from disciples, or from followers. So in the same way, yogis, those who practice yoga, especially it's mentioned here, the eightfold yoga says Ashtanga yoga. They also find themselves in situations where so many benefits are offered to them. And one shouldn't become distracted. One should remain firm in his determination and reach the ultimate goal, which is to realize the Paramatma within the heart and become a devotee. Even though yogis, when the yogis reach their perfection, it's more like a neutral relationship with Krishna. Just like when they start realizing the Paramatma in the heart, they're more astounded. What's the astounded?
Astonished.
Yeah, they're astonished. Surprised by this excellent form of the Paramatma in the heart. Even though Srila Prabhupada said that when a yogi, when a yogi comes to that stage, normally he becomes attracted to the Paramatma because Krishna is so attractive. Whatever form, Krishna is very attractive. And when there's some attraction, then affection, how do you say? Tsunaigo, affection starts manifesting. And when this is the case, then naturally one tends to serve. One tends to serve Krishna. So the yogi has been practicing austerities and sitting postures and all that, breathing, controlling the breathing and all this. When he finally comes to that stage of spiritual realization, then if he is going further, then he becomes a devotee, an active devotee, and starts worshipping Krishna. And is inactive, I say, like his fixed position, sitting postures and all this, he's ready to give them up to become full-fledged Vaishnava. That's the real perfection. Just like it says in the Shastra that when yogis become perfect, they go to Vaikuntha. But not unless they have developed some relationship with Krishna, some active relationship with Krishna. Because you cannot enter into the spiritual world unless